Hello Gemini, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am so thrilled to do a little reading for you regarding the month of September 2024. So we're going to be looking at the general energy, the block or challenge that you are likely to face, also a positive that you will experience, and finally the main lesson that you have the potential to learn in the month of September. Plus also some other information as well besides those areas, so it will hopefully be a very informative video and give you a good overview of what to expect. Now this reading is aimed towards Gemini, Sun, Rising and Moon, specifically in that order. But if you have any other important placements that you deem to be important, or if you have a Gemini stellium, then feel free to watch this reading, of course. But I do recommend Sun, Rising and Moon signs specifically. And of course, watching all three of those, if you have those placements in different signs, then watching all of those three signs, or however many you have, will give you the best overview of the month ahead. Also, this is a general reading, okay? So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But let's start with your energy. Let's get right into it. What sort of energy is Gemini going to be in the month of September? Okay. We're getting quite a few cards here. But I guess we are taking them. So we have the leaf, we have the chakras, and we have the yin yang. Okay, and what sort of energy is around you in the month of September? What sort of energy is around Gemini in September? Okay, interesting. And we have the butterfly at the bottom. So we will look at these cards specifically in just a bit. But first we are going to get the monthly energy out as well. See what we are dealing with. Okay, Gemini, let's get into this because there's quite a lot to unpack and it is very fascinating, this energy. So we have not had this many cards to describe someone's energy in any of the readings before, but clearly your reading is more complex in that regard, and it seems like your energy is going to be a bit more complex as well because as I said, we have the leaf, the chakras, and the yin-yang. So what these cards are telling me is that in the month of September, sorry, let me see if I can tone there we go. I feel like you'll be able to see it better now. So I feel like in the month of September, it's almost like you are trying to integrate something that, like some sort of experience or some aspect of your life that you are deciding to leave behind. So it's like you are starting to realize what needs to be let go of or what needs to be like cut out of your life, and then sort of seeing that as some sort of like lesson or the wisdom or the knowledge that you gained from that experience and integrating that into your into your being, into yourself, and becoming a lot more like wholesome as a result. So there is definitely a lot of alignment that you're going to be doing in the month of September. It feels like your energy is very much going to be focused on aligning yourself, making sure that you feel much more like centered and grounded and like right, quote unquote, within yourself than you have before. And it does seem to entail some sort of letting go, some sort of purification or some sort of release that you're going to be doing. Now this could be within yourself, so you could be going through like a purging or something like that within yourself of like bad thought patterns or bad behaviors, bad habits, something like that. It could be tied to some aspects of yourself that you are not like the most happy about or the most proud of, and trying to like work through what needs to be worked through, and then like, you know, trying to make sense of yourself, bring yourself back into balance, right? But because the yin yang also talks about duality, or that's the main message here, is the aspect of duality, it seems like you are sort of trying to combine like a darker aspect and a lighter aspect. So almost like turning something that was previously a negative, or that you deem to be a negative, and turning it into something that you can use, something that you can sort of be aware of or learn from, or something like that. So there is definitely some sort of like practical aspect to this, like why you are doing this, but I feel like it does entail some sort of like release as well. So very interesting energy from your part, and as I said, it feels very complex. But the energy around you could also play a part in that, because we have this like compass or direction energy coming through. And I do feel with this being here that the energy around you could be somewhat disorienting as well. It could almost make you feel a bit like not lost necessarily, but it just seems to be like either redirecting you some way, or there could be some new energies coming in that are opening up some sort of possibilities for you. In either case, it feels like you are going to be experiencing some sort of like change or rerouting, redirection, like that type of thing within your surroundings, the surrounding energies. And now whether that talks about specifically like a relationship that you have with someone, again, we're not talking about just like romantic relationships, right? These can be any sorts of relationships that you have with the people around you. Or if this is just simply like the general sort of energy that you feel around you, like some sort of influences around you. It could work either way, but it definitely seems to be somewhat of a realigning type of month for you, especially when it comes to like you yourself. You seem to be realigning some aspects of yourself or some aspects of your life to be more like more centered, more in tune with what you feel is right for you, and to almost like, I'm getting the word like healthy, like to get yourself back to like a healthy place, or make sure that all aspects of yourself are in a healthy place and balanced, like something like that. But anyway, let's move on. So we have this card over here, which is talking about the general energy of the month. And now, again, I don't want you to be alarmed, because sometimes these cards can be a bit like sort of severe or like in your face with their illustrations. But this card is a card of like betrayal, but I actually don't feel that necessarily for you, Gemini. I actually feel like you are going to be the one who is going to be making some sort of pretty unexpected changes in your life. And so that's why I said that it seems like you may be cutting something off or letting something go. And it may be something that is happening quite abruptly here, because this is all about like feeling a sense of betrayal, or something like that is coming out of the blue, and something that like pulls the rug out from under you. But I actually, as I said, I don't feel like this is happening to you. I feel like you are doing that in your own life regarding, again, this could be, you know, with a relationship. This could be with some sort of agreement or commitment. This could be regarding even some sort of like pattern or again, some habit that is in place, just something that like people are used to, maybe even something that you yourself have been used to, but then it's like suddenly you decide to cut it out in a very like abrupt and dramatic manner, and almost like there are no second chances, or there's no going back from that. And whatever this is, it's definitely something that has been harmful to you in one way or another, or you have at least perceived it to be like something that is not good, something that is not beneficial to you. So definitely for some of you, this could be like some sort of relationship. Again, platonic, romantic, take it as it resonates. Most likely this is something that you are very well aware of if you are watching this reading, and if this is speaking of a relationship for you, then it's something that you already sort of recognize as like a bad influence in your life, or someone that you know is not like good for you. So in that case, this is most likely not going to be a surprise to you. But yeah, it feels like, you know, if this is not like a relationship, then it could just be something that you are deciding to change in your life, sort of out of the blue. At least that's how it seems to be for the people around you, or if there are other people involved in this. But yeah. Even if, as I said, even if this is like an aspect of yourself or some sort of pattern or habit that you have had, there is something about it that you deem to be like really bad for you. So yeah, there is an abruptness here, but we will clarify this as well, so don't you worry. Moving on, we have this energy here, and this is speaking about the block or challenge that you will potentially face. And obviously this card is very like self-explanatory, so it is talking about, you know, being tied down, feeling like restricted in some way. And so I do feel like there could be a challenge in the sense that even though it seems like this like cutting off or letting go of something is happening, and is happening very like abruptly, there could be a period of like making peace with it, or actually like setting yourself free that could be somewhat challenging to you. So yeah, it's like it just seems to be something that feels very like overpowering, or something that you feel like you are almost like so deeply bound to, or so strongly tied to, that you may be struggling with the concept of actually like setting yourself free from it. So there could be a part of you that actually feels somewhat like powerless against this thing, whatever this is, whether this is a force, whether this is a thought, whether this is a person, whether this is some sort of other like circumstance. It seems like a part of that is something that you're truly struggling with. Like this could even be an addiction, right? And again, I'm just, you know, putting it out there in case it resonates for someone out there. But it seems to be something that like really like causes issues for you when it comes to seeing how much power you actually have in this situation. Now, a positive though that you are going to be experiencing is clearly some sense of freedom. So it does seem like whatever this thing you are that you are releasing or cutting out or clearing house with, it seems to bring you a lot of peace, a lot of contentment, and a lot of happiness, and also like a feeling of achievement as well. So this feels to me like pure joy and pure like unadulterated pride as well. So, and obviously you can see that there is a sunset at the at the background there too, which is again making me feel like this freedom is coming from something that you are releasing, something that you are saying goodbye to. So that's what is bringing the sense of relief your way as well. And finally, we have this electric magnetic card over here. This is talking about the main lesson that you can learn in this month. And this is talking about tension and conflict and sort of managing that. It makes me think that in the month of September, you have the opportunity to actually learn to manage tense situations in a whole new way, like actually bringing the tension down and grounding it, rather than like reciprocating in the same manner. So maybe previously, you know, if there have been stressful situations, tense situations, situations that like agitate you or really anger you, frustrate you, maybe you have like lashed out or reciprocated the same way that someone else has been, you know, talking to you. Let's say that this is some sort of argument or conflict, right, with someone else. And maybe previously you have like lashed out or like matched their vibration, but it seems to be like changing, or you have the opportunity to change that pattern in the month of September, where instead of like building up the tension even more with like becoming aggressive or becoming malicious or something like that yourself as well, right? Like matching that vibration. Instead of that, you are doing the opposite, and you are sort of trying to diffuse the situation with like diplomacy and like other means, other tactics. So yeah, this seems to be like a really beautiful place of growth that you can potentially go through here. But I quickly want to clarify. I want to look at actually both of these cards here. I want to look at the general energy, and I also want to look at the potential block. So can we get some more information about this general energy? Okay, thank you. Wow, yeah, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. And the Tower. I was waiting for the Tower. I was so hoping that the Tower would come out. Just because I was feeling that sort of Tower energy with the lightning bolt. But yeah, so Tower is at the bottom here. So we have two major arcana cards coming out basically. So with the Wheel of Fortune, this is a card of Jupiter, and this is actually a really positive omen because it basically indicates, when it's coming out upright, that things are going to be moving along and they are going to be moving in your favor. So again, whatever this sort of change is, it seems like this is happening for your benefit. This is bringing some sort of positive change that is, I feel like, long overdue as well, with the Tower being at the bottom here. This is something that like needs to crumble. This is something that needs to be dissolved. And again, with the Tower here, that's that abruptness. That's that like, not urgency specifically, but just something that happens sort of like out of the blue that, you know, people don't see coming. And so, yeah, as I said, it seems to be like a really positive, beneficial thing for you though, with this Wheel of Fortune here. Like this is exactly something that you need, something that is going to take you further along. But let's look at the block or challenge as well. Can we get more information about the block or challenge for Gemini? Okay, interesting. We have the Page of Swords coming out in reverse, and we have the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom here. So yeah, I feel like with the Page of Swords coming out in reverse, this is basically indicating that you might be a bit in your head, like in your own head, and not seeing things very clearly. There may be some like fears or insecurities that are cropping up for you and that are sort of making it more difficult for you to actually like do what needs to be done, or just sort of deal with the situation in general, especially with the Knight of Pentacles being at the bottom here. This is a card of Virgo, but this can just speak about any earth sign really. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you have any of those placements, you know, just take it as it resonates. If you don't, that's fine. But the Knight of Pentacles is basically an energy of stalling. That's the word that I keep hearing, is like stalling, because this is the slowest moving knight of all of the knights in the court cards, and so it seems like you are sort of like some part of you is struggling to like go through with this, or to make this change happen, to like actually let go of something, to, you know, to make that change. But it seems to be sort of something that you can quite easily change by changing your perception around it. And so that's why I feel like also this sort of reintegration or like realignment energy that you are going to be in, because it seems to be that you sort of need to turn the table around for whatever this sort of letting go, releasing energy is that you are in. You sort of there's something about like reprogramming your mind around it, or your perception around it, seeing it in another way with this yin yang energy. Yeah, anyway, let's look at the potential outcomes. You're getting so much air energy. That's so funny. Okay, so yeah, I love this energy coming through for you. We have the beaver energy coming through first, which is the potential outcome for the general energy of the month. So the beaver is all about work and practicality and being very determined and being very persevering, I suppose. Yeah, this is all about like doing the work that needs to be done. And so I feel like with this energy of cutting something out, releasing what needs to be released, it is going to take you to a place where you can actually start building a very solid structure for your future, like something that truly serves not just yourself, but other people in your life as well. But mostly I feel like this is something that like you really need to do for yourself. Yeah, this is basically just like doing the hard work, but like doing it willingly. It's not something that like causes you strife or pain or discomfort, although like certain parts of it possibly maybe do that as well. But mostly this is about like just getting to a place where you can truly do the work that needs to be done so that you could get the results that you are after, like really building something solid. Like that's what I feel with this beaver energy here. Now with the butterfly, we're getting into your element, right? We are dealing with the air element, and this is talking about the potential outcome for the block or challenge that you are going to be facing. And so this whole concept of like possibly being in your own head and overthinking things a bit or analyzing things a bit too much, starting to feel like doubtful about yourself and your capabilities, I feel like this has the potential to actually like completely transform the way that you think about like yourself and what you are capable of. And also I feel like this is almost like reframing your mindset in general, like setting some aspects of yourself free, especially because again we are dealing with the mind, right? We had air energy clarifying this block, and now we have air energy as the outcome. So this is all to do with your mind, your perception, your outlook on things. And I feel like the outcome here is actually really beautiful with the butterfly, right? Because butterflies are so beautiful, and they represent the sort of the beautiful outcome after the challenging process of going through the cocoon and getting ready for their life essentially to truly begin. And so I feel like that's where you have the potential to end up by breaking through of these like mental blocks, right? Now, we also have moth energy, more air energy, as I already said. And this is saying, this is talking about the potential outcome for the positive, right? So the sense of freedom, the sense of liberation and relief that you're going to be feeling. With the moth, it's basically saying that you can potentially get into a place where you will be a lot more excited about like new opportunities, a lot more open-minded as well, and being a lot more receptive to like sudden bouts of inspiration that take you to unexpected places. Because the moth is very much the energy of like going around and trying all of these different things. It's not necessarily the most like reliable and dedicated energy, but that's not the point. I feel like that's not actually what you need during this time anyway. Like this is a time that you are setting yourself free from something that has been holding you down, or that has been influencing you in some way, that has been, you know, holding you back essentially in some regard. And now it seems like you are sort of opening yourself up to a lot more opportunity, a lot more possibility, and a lot more newness, things to explore, things to get excited about. So that is absolutely amazing, and I really love that for you. Finally, we have this dragonfly energy, and this is the potential outcome for the main lesson that you can learn. And as we discussed, there is the lesson to try approaching conflicts and tense situations in a different way. And with this dragonfly, it definitely seems like you have the opportunity to like take control of the mind and to really like still your mind, to sort of see through the illusions, or especially like if you have any like reflexes that you maybe previously weren't too aware of, or maybe even if you were aware of them, but if you maybe had a difficult time like ruling them or controlling them, then it seems like in the month of September you actually have the opportunity to like see through those types of illusions, again, where you maybe tell yourself that you don't have the power to change something about yourself or your impulses or how you see something. I feel like you will start to see the opportunity and again, how much power you actually do have in different situations to turn them around and to handle them differently. So yeah, that's what I feel. So these are all like, this is basically all talking about like liberation. So whatever this is that you are liberating yourself from, or turning around into like a positive somehow, in integrating the lesson here, it seems to do you a world of good. But let's close the reading out with some advice as well. Let's look at some advice on how to deal with all of these different areas. Right, so let's start with the first card. We have the Eight of Swords here. And this as advice on how to deal with the general energy of the month. First of all, I feel like this is actually saying to like take it really easy and to not like rush anything, because it could be that, you know, as I said, some of these situations that crop up could be like, you know, causing you some anxiety or causing you some stress, causing some worry or some fears to sort of be brought to the surface. And I feel like the advice here is not to like try to push them aside or not to ignore them, or try to like rush through the whatever it is that you are feeling, because I feel like it's sort of necessary to actually like look at what those fears or what those insecurities are, and again, like make peace with them. So as I said, there's something about like reintegrating or incorporating like some negative aspects into yourself and seeing them as part of you, not as something to either be ashamed of or something to hate or try and hide away, but something to realize that, you know, we all have negative and positive aspects, and like no specific aspect rules or defines who we are, right? And so yeah, I feel like this is about like sort of seeing those more in a more like calm and accepting manner, which is not usually something, I don't know, it's weird. I don't usually see the Eight of Swords in that way, but that's what's coming through right now. And more like classically, I suppose, I feel like the advice here is also to sort of see these insecurities or these misconceptions that you have about yourself or about certain aspects of your life, right? That like make you feel like you are powerless, like you have no ability to break through these walls, to do something about the situation that you find yourself in, or to change something about yourself or your life. Then I feel like this is saying to really like scrutinize and really look at where those beliefs are coming from, and to try and like see past them, to break through them, because you do have the power, because this is the swords that we are dealing with, right? So this is air element, this is your terrain, and you are the ruler here, you are the master here. Yeah, I feel like just by changing your perception, changing the way that you see something, is basically how you break down walls and how you crush certain obstacles and things like that. So yeah, it seems to be something that you really have the power to change. And I feel like that's what the universe or spirit is really emphasizing here. We also have the Sun card, and this is a major arcana card, of course. And this is also a card that is tied to the sun, the star, right? The sun. So in a way, it's also tied to Leo energy, because the sun rules Leo. But just in any case, this as an advice, regarding the block that you are facing, realize again the freedom that you actually have, and allow yourself to like seek out the joy and the happiness. And I feel like really focus on the joy and happiness, especially when you are struggling to like let whatever this thing is go, to like really tune into what it is that you truly need in order to feel happy and fulfilled and free and wholesome, right? So like really putting that to the forefront here, and trying to focus on the positive, trying to focus on the power, trying to focus on like the self-worth and the confidence, rather than any of the fears that may be cropping up, because I feel like those are going to be so much more powerful for you, like to tap into that energy. And to, again, to like remind yourself of why you are even doing these things in the first place, what it is that you are setting yourself free from, and like how that freedom is ultimately like the best thing. We also have the Hierophant. Now, this is a card of Taurus, but this is advice regarding the positive that you are experiencing, right? So this whole liberation aspect. And I feel like this is basically saying to like focus on what you value, what at its core is like the most important thing for you, to really focus on that. I feel like that is the key energy here to pay attention to. And to listen to yourself as well, your own authority. And finally, we have the Empress, which is a card of Venus. So this can be Taurus or Libra. Again, just saying the zodiacal signs in case they resonate with you. But this is advice on how to deal with the main lesson, right? And so I feel like this is, again, a reminder to like rule with compassion, rule with kindness, right? Instead of like matching the vibration of whoever you are dealing with. Like this is basically reminding yourself of your worth, of all of the amazing traits that you have, everything that you have that you can be proud of, basically, and everything that you truly value in yourself, and letting those shine, right? Not forgetting about those aspects, not forgetting about remaining dignified and sort of coming out on top because of how like understanding and how compassionate and forgiving and loving you can be. So yeah, that's kind of all I have for you. I feel like that's it. So I hope that this reading spoke to you, my dear Gemini. I hope that, you know, it wasn't freaking you out or anything. I hope that this was useful and gave you some sort of encouragement. If this resonated for you, and if you happen to watch it in September, or if you happen to come back during the month of September, then please let me know how this resonated, or if it didn't resonate, you can let me know that too. I would also love to get like a little thumbs up if you enjoyed these messages, or if they, again, helped you in some way. And of course, please subscribe as well if you want to see more from me. That would help to keep my little channel going. But anyway, I am wishing you all the best. And if I don't see you in any of the other readings, then I am just hoping to see you very soon in one of my next ones. Take care. Bye-bye.